Um, okay, hello. In this video, we are going to cover a little bit about how we're going to slice the road network. This is just a raw output after we digitize the whole network, like lane markers, some of the curbstone, road edges, and some portions of the virtual lines. As you see, the virtual lines are in blue color here, and the curbstones are like orange here. And we wanted to spend time and say, okay, if we do have this network and we need to add some driveways, the turning lines at the intersections, how can we do that very quick and fast? So to do that, I'm going to explain some of the features that we have in Horizon, so which you can actually use them, and also you can actually maybe learn a little bit about some of the other features that we have developed to quickly edit some of the lane markers or even check some of the connections. One of the major things that we usually have to do once we fully digitize the curbstone and lane markers is just to fix the virtual lines and also build the paths. When I say build the paths, means that if we assume all of our vehicles are moving through the railroads, it means that they always have to have the left and right tracks for the railroad. Wherever they go, wherever they turn left, turn right, or if they split left, split right, merge left, merge right. So in all of those situations, we always have to have a kind of left and right track. So this is a fundamental concept. This is something that you should realize deeply to understand how you're actually fixing this stuff. Otherwise, if you don't really catch the concept, it's very difficult to fix it. So I repeat again and then that what's actually needed. We are assuming that all the vehicles are traveling through the railroads. And the railroads are always the left and right side of the railroad are either lane marker or virtual line, nothing else. So always one of these should be present at the left or right track for the railroad. Let's assume, look at this intersection. As you see here, this vehicle is moving straight, so the right boundary is this one, and the left boundary is this one. So we have the rail track. But what about this vehicle? If this vehicle wants to move straight, so this vehicle that is going straight has the right track but doesn't have the left track. So this rail track is disconnected. So this is normal situation. First of all, do we have lane marker at the intersection? No. Because usually on the intersection there is no marker present on the road. You don't see any paintings. So when there is no painting, then it means it must be virtual line. So here it's very clear that the one virtual line segment is missed here. So another portion, if we are actually on this line and then we are going on the first lane, let's say this is the first, this is second, and this is third, and this is the fourth lane. So if we are on the first lane and we wanted to go straight, what will happen? Then we have the left track, but we don't have the right track, which means that we cannot go. So this is a problem. What we have to do is just to make sure that all the connections from the left, right, turning are all present as a rail track. Let's look at this scenario, another one. We are on the right lane and then we wanted to turn right to the another right. So if you're turning right here at this intersection, it's very important to understand, okay, if I wanted to turn right, where is my right track? My right track is this one. And where is my left track? I don't have any left track here. So the vehicle or the train, let's call it train, the train cannot turn right here because it doesn't have the left track. So all of the tracks should be fully connected to the next track. So if this is one track, for example, this is the right, and this is, for example, the left, then the right and left should be connected to the next right and left for the next pieces of the track. So we are building the lanelets, which are the rail tracks, and usually the lanelets are in an equal size. The right lane and left lane, left track and right tracks are usually equal size and they are parallel. So they are parallel and equal size. But they are just like pieces of the puzzle that are attached to each other to make the full railway pass. So let's let's dive a little bit deeper into this intersection and then try to fix some of the lanelets, virtual lines, and the cut lines, but this is just a demonstration. So I'm not maybe covering all the details here. You might come with lots of questions that how did I do that? How did I do this? So you can ask those questions later, but I try to cover as much as possible, but there is a chance that some of the shortcuts, some of the functionalities I'm going to cover here, maybe I'm not going to explain them in details, but you can actually ask me later. One good helpful resource for you is that if you go to the shortcuts, you will learn a lot of features here. You can actually learn how to use these shortcuts, which actually makes your work much faster. Some of the features that we're going to cover here is just we're showing that how we're using the driveway tool. We have a driveway tool here, and then we're showing how we're actually using the maybe turning arc tool, and then somehow how we're actually going to use this lane marker style editor. We will go through that, and especially this one, which is the move tool, which I will explain that. So all of these tools are very fundamental, and it's very good for you to learn how to use them. One good tool is that whenever you press the Shift and W, you will see that there's a connection points are showing up. These connection points are showing if these two lines are connected in the one single line point, which is green, which means that they are snapped and they're fully connected, which is very good. But if the line is the end of the line, or if two lines are not actually connected to each other and each one has a separate maybe X, Y, and Z, maybe X, Y is equal, but the Z is different, so you will see it as a different color. So if, for example, the purple one here means that X and Y, which is lat long, is equal, but the Z level for these 2 points for different two lines is different. So that's why it's purple. Here, for example, it shows as a red, which means that even the X and Y are not same. So which is very dangerous. Usually in this situation, we always make sure that we go here to the this global tool, make sure that we are actually choosing this one, the points only start and end. Once we actually set to the start and end, then I'm going to use the Shift and S, and then I will draw a box. This box tells me, okay, there's a 1 point here, but we saw it's only a red box. So then it means that these lines are not meeting each other at the 1 point, and there's only one line here. So what I'm going to inspect is I'm looking at this one. Okay, yes, there is no end of the line here. So this line is ending here, and this line is ending here, which is not very good. I'm going to fix all of these, but you will see that all the lines should meet at 1 point. And then we can consider them fully connected. So let's fix some of the stuff here first, and then we move to the next part. I wanted to make sure that whenever I slice the road, whenever I build the lanelets or whatever I do, I always start from the same point for all the lanes that I'm going to create. So for example, in this case, we are actually starting we can actually start like slicing the road at this position. And then you might ask, well, why we are slicing? What's the reason of slicing? What we're needing that? Those are the things that we can actually discuss later. You can ask me. We have already covered some of this stuff in some of the documentation. We explained that why we're slicing the roads, why we're actually building the lanelets, what are the lanelets. And so, but I'm just showing here how I do the work, but you know, the conceptuals, what is the reason behind that, why we're actually slicing. Those are the things that you can actually inspect later. So because we have a curb stone at the middle of the row, we don't need to fully slice the both sides of the row. So I'm going just to start slicing the right side of the road, which is direction going from the south to the north. So to do that, I'm going to look at the condition of the road. So whenever the road is starting to turn, which is like here, so we're going straight on the edge, and then the edge starts to rotate, and this portion is critical. Wherever the edge is starting to turn, that's something somewhere highlight, like as a hot spot for us. So we have to look at this point. This is where the road edge is going to start turning right. So this spot is something we call it a turning angle. So which means that this is where we have to focus and see if we have to cut the road into different pieces. So let's assume we wanted to cut the road at this location, and then we have a stop line here, which we might want to also start cutting here. But I'm going to consider a few other parameters before I start, like, you know, slicing. So if I slice here, and then I wanted to slice also here, then I have two slices very close to each other, which is not usually good, but sometimes is okay. But I'm just considering the left side of the road also needs this part, I mean, also needs the slices. So probably one good slice point is here. So let's look at the situation. Okay, we have already some points here. So left. Okay, this looks, the slice is already good here. So maybe a good strategy here would be to have another slice also very similar to that on this side. But before doing that, I have to inspect that if I have all the virtual lines, everything ready for my work. For example, here, I don't have any virtual line for left side of the curbstone or right side of the curbstone here. So, for example, the vehicle going into this side, it has the right boundary but doesn't have the left boundary, which should be I told you, it always has to be a lane marker or virtual line. If it's not, then we don't have it, so we have to build it. So here, for example, we don't have the virtual line. How do we are going to build it? It's just going to cover very quickly. I press the Shift W to disable the intersection points. Then I'm going to start building a parallel line. So I press Control and then click on the layer, and then I'm going to use this parallel feature, and then I put the number 25 centimeter, and I say, okay, put it at the right side of the lane, and then I click on the select. Then I say, okay, this one, and then also this one, because both of them I need to add. So once I select it, let's look at the other part of the map. Do we need other places as well? Yeah, looks like we need also another virtual line also here. So I'm going to select this one, sorry, and this one. So once I'm done, I'm going to press enter, and then it says, okay, you wanted to create a 25 centimeter parallel line to the right side of this, but where do you want to save it? I'm going to save it in the virtual line layer, and then save. Oh, you see that? This virtual line is now in parallel 25 centimeter, and it's added to the virtual line layer. So as you see here, now I have the virtual line. Let's look at this intersection again. So as you see here, we have the right boundary and we have the left boundary. Now let's see. Do we have everything here? Also, we have the right boundary, left boundary, all the lines are there. So let's look at the situation here. For example, here, as you see, I can actually turn it off temporarily, as you see, and then let me just drag this tool, put it somewhere else. Okay, so here, as you see, it's a solid line, but solid line starts here. So I have to fix this situation. So there must be a slice here because the condition of the road is changing. It's going from the virtual line to the solid line. So I'm going to turn on the lane marker layer again, back, and then I'm going to say, okay, I wanted to fix this situation again. So I need a cut line here. Let's look at the other cuts. Okay, there's one cut here already, so I need another cut here to make sure everything is in parallel. So we have created it. So I use the Shift X to enable the cutting a slice, and once I draw and slice it, it disables automatically. So as you see here, I already sliced it. See here I have 1.1 plug, and then this part also needs a small cut. So I'm going to cut this part as well. So now let's look at this situation now. Okay, this is really good. So all of the lines are all sliced at the very same line. They have to be always in the same line. So they're looking very nice. So, and then here, for example, this line shouldn't be a dash, it should be solid. But before doing that, I'm looking at this situation here. So I have to cut the lines again here at this intersection. So I'm going to check the cuts. Okay, we have one cut here, one cut here. So probably we need another cut here. And then I'm not going to cut the right side, then we will see why. Here, for example, the virtual line, I probably need to bring it a little bit higher. So I just brought it into the edit mode. I brought it high because I wanted to make sure that all of these lines, the endpoints, as you see here, all of them are one equal surface. So yeah, they look all good now. I'm going to save this layer now, and then Shift W. Okay, so all of them are sliced perfectly, but this side, still we don't have a slice here, which actually could be a kind of problem, but I'm trying to see that how we can actually fix it. One way is just do a small trick here. What is the trick? First of all, we don't want the visual line to be a kind of rotating like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, for example. Let's look what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it here very nicely, and then this is also cutting the curve stone. So and then you can actually take a look here, and as you see here, I have another portion because I sliced it. I have another segment here and another segment there. I don't like this segment, which is not straight. So what I should do, I'm going to edit this segment. Maybe I'm going to remove some of these points, and then once I remove them, I actually bring this line here. Then let's see if this is a straight. So I'm going to remove that one. Okay, this is a pretty straight line. I like it. And then I'm going to say, okay, this turning line is not the perfect one that I like. So I'm going to select the line and then I delete it and save the layer. Okay, we lost the turning, but it's not bad yet because we're going to fix it later. Now all the lines are there except this place that we have a slice which is not necessary. So to avoid this unnecessary split, I'm going to merge this portion. So what I'm going to do is that I'm selecting this one with the shift. So I press the shift and then click on these two. Then I go to this menu, and then you see if I go to this menu, there's a button here called merge. So when I merge it, all these two lines are merged into one line. So this is good. And now if I look back and I click on this line, you see this is only one single line now up to here, which is good, which means that all of these lines are now same size. You see that? Same size, all are parallel. So all the rail tracks are now clean. Everything is good. So what I have to do is we have another issue here, and that's this shouldn't be a dashed line, it should be a solid marker line. So what I'm going to do is just I'm going to use this tool, which is a style editor. I click on this, then I select the line that I wanted to change it. For example, I wanted to change this one and I wanted to change this one. The ones that I wanted, I selected, I clicked on that. And then I press, for example, S as a solid. So you have the shortcut key, S as a solid and D as a dash. And the W for the white color and the Y for the yellow color. So there are four small shortcuts. So once you select the lines, you press one of these fours to change the color or change the style. So we changed the style to the solid line, which you see it was a solid line. And I'm going to disable this tool by clicking on it. Sorry, sometimes because I'm recording the screen, it's a little bit laggy, so that sometimes it doesn't move properly. Anyway, so I'm just going to see if everything looks good. So I'm going to disable this. Yeah, so you see that now the dashed line, everything is good. Here I'm looking at this one. What is the color of this? This is yellow, solid yellow. Is it really solid yellow? No, it's white. So what should I do? I have to go here and then I click on the slice and then I click this one and then press W. So now it's white. So if I click on it, sorry, I have to disable this one. If I click on it, it shows white. You see that? The color is white, subtype is solid. So this is right now. Okay, this portion now is clean. If you look at that, we have one good slicing here and one good slicing here, and all the lines are fully connected. So this is perfect situation. And then the opposite side of the intersection, if I look at it, then you will see it. Okay, we have a very nice slice also here. All aligned, the points are all in one single line, which is really good. And what we need to do is that, for example, these should be virtual lines, not the, for example, the lane markers. So I'm going to move them. So move them. So I'm selecting this feature, I'm selecting this one, and then selecting this one, and then I press V. V means that move it to the virtual line. So if you press the V, and then I say, okay, let's move it to the virtual line, done. You see that these two lines are moved to the virtual line. And then in the right side, I need another virtual line. So this situation, what I can do is that I go to editing the virtual line layer. I press this button, and then I come here and say, okay, I need this plug, end of this, and this is the start of this in the direction of the travel. So I'm going to save it, It's very important. It has to be in the direction of travel. It should not be from the north to south. It has to be from the south to north. So I'm going to find another plug here. Space N is a shortcut. I enable it, and then I click on here, and then I go up, attach it to this plug, right click, and then save. Okay, now I have all the pieces of going straight. So the right track, left track, all of them are good. This track is not going straight, it's going to turn right. So I'm going to build a right, turning right track as well now. Then you will see how we are going to build it. So one way to do that is just very easy, straightforward, is just using the turning tool. But we have other features also which we can actually use for this purpose. But I'm going to use this turning arc, the section that we were working on it now. So you see everything is there. Let's use the turning arc. So it says you can draw one pane. So we're going to select this point. Let's see, where was it? Okay, let me disable it. And then press Shift W. Okay, there is yeah. So I see the plug point is here. So I'm going to start this turn line, and then I select this. Okay. Says endpoint has 2 points in it. So let's see. Need exactly one. Okay, this is something interesting. I have to see. Okay, so definitely there's a problem here. I have to figure out is a problem with the stack or there's something else. But we were just going to create the turning arc here, which we didn't yet. But once I finish this part, we can actually move forward.